to put Southside the ribs. We come in.
Okay. Yeah, see what I'm saying? I was gonna give you some extra off our monetized money. Now you gotta get
Nigga, it seems like he getting all the monetized money. We ain't seen that.
We not even getting none of it. Ain't no commercials today.
Not enough money. This shit right here has the money, and I know it. And as soon as I can find it, I
So
promise.
y'all saying monetized? What's monetized? I don't have no idea how this.
Monetize means we get paid. We get paid.
Is it working? Is it
Yes, sir. Because it's free money coming to you for doing this.
Doing what you weren't doing?
Yeah, doing what you're gonna be doing anyway. Now you get paid.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's based on a certain number.
Or you can get everybody to the Southside. Or we can come in. We found a song with my name in it.
Nah, we're gonna go out to Southside. No.
We go down Pretty Ricky because we already live.
We live?
We live.
You started with Pretty Ricky. I know you didn't put that down.
I know he did. He definitely ain't never get paid. That song was dedicated to Ricky Williams at the DFW Ravens for what how he be hitting the mamas over. That wasn't for us. Golly, what is wrong with you, man?
Okay, man.
Well, we're live. Free Game Podcast, episode 47. The subject matter of today will be Coach Pat, president of the Southside Ravens. We have an
Southside what?
Southside
Excuse me,
who?
Southside. It's because of you.
And they always try to make
Southside Hornets.
Southside Hornets, man.
What's wrong with him, man?
You.
I'm definitely have to let him make it on that.
Man, he got to. He tripping.
He talking about the Southside
bad,
Ravens.
Ravens.
No, you good.
We're gonna drug test him after this. Y'all don't worry about it.
Man,
He's definitely
flying colors.
he's definitely getting the drug test. Don't worry about it.
Man,
No, but this is the Free Game Podcast where everything costs but the game is free, baby. Man, today we got the one and only, the legendary that's been doing it for a long. Boy, way before I was born and way before this clown was born.
Okay.
He's been doing it for a long time. We're gonna let him introduce himself.
I guess, man, this Coach Pat, man, with the Southside Hornets Youth Association. Been coaching for 42 years, so that's an introduction. We can do everything else from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Coach Pat, you mind me taking the floor? You want to?
Now you go ahead, sir.
Okay, so I just got a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
So, Coach Pat, you say you got in the, when did you first start coaching?
I was 17 when I first started coaching.
You were 17 when you first started coaching? And what team was you with? Did you start out
Back then, well, I always been with Southside.
Okay.
But back then it was called the Poly Hornets.
Y'all with the Poly Hornets.
We was orange and black. We weren't gold and black.
Okay, so when you started out, was you just a coach or was you like?
I was just more of a system. I
Okay.
wasn't really. I was just helping my uncle.
Okay, what's your uncle name? That's who got you into it? Can we talk? Can we?
Yeah, Uncle Dale is the oldest parent from the south side of Fort Worth.
Okay, cool. And what made you want to get into the youth with the football?
I didn't necessarily get into football. I would just like to coach. My whole life, I spent time with younger kids. That's just something I've always did.
Mm-hmm.
If I played football, I'm gonna pick the young kids. I never picked the kids my age. So anybody that knew me knew that I always picked younger kids to train them because younger kids listen.
Okay.
So that was just my thing. Then I got an older brother that's older than me, like 7 years old. He did me the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So he would take. We would go. You know how you play neighborhood sports.
For sure.
We would go to certain blocks, and within those blocks, my brother take us, and we like 7 or 8 years younger than everybody else, and we would go around the neighborhood just beating everybody. But it was because of my brother. He understood the game, so because he understood the game, he would put us in situations to win, and we didn't argue. But the older cats would be arguing like, who gonna play quarterback? My brother already knew he was gonna be the quarterback, and he used to rush the whole team. So if it was 8 of us, all 7 of us rushed. He the only one stayed back. Okay. Because it's just he had a lot of wisdom my brother had a lot of wisdom, so he imparted a lot of that wisdom on me. So to me, I just like to see kids grow.
Okay. And what side of town did you grow up in? Grow up on in Fort
Eastwood.
Worth? You grew up.
Born and raised in Eastwood.
And what school did you attend?
Elementary school, I went to A.M. Payne.
Okay.
Then they bused us to this name of this school, Bruce Shipley on the southwest side of Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. Then in the 5th grade, going into the 6th grade, I went to Dunbar Middle.
Okay.
And then from the 7th grade, then stayed there 6th, 7th, and 8th. Mm-hmm. 9th grade, I went to Dunbar High and played there for 4 years.
Okay. So you played ball yourself?
I played ball ever since I was in the 7th grade.
So this ain't new to you, huh?
No. I've been playing. I played ball here since I was in 7th grade.
Okay. And like I say, we want to introduce the world and let them know your background, because I hear everybody saying Coach Pat, but you know, maybe some of them don't know your background. We're gonna give them a little bit on your background, but to keep the story going, so you went and you started coaching Poly Hornets. Poly Hornets. How long was you just a regular coach for the Poly Hornets?
Probably 3 years.
About 3 years?
About 3 years.
Before you went up the ladder?
Well, I didn't have no choice. We didn't have no coaches, though.
For real?
So I ain't no choice but to go up the ladder. Yeah. Actually, how I wound up being head coach, it was a coach that was coaching named Mr. Bird, and I was hipping him.
Okay.
And how old were you at this time?
At this time, probably 19.
19.
Probably 19.
And what was the group of kids?
They was 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
But back then, man, we going way back.
No, for
Back
sure. Let's
then,
get into
it was Pee Wee football was kind of like all the kids could play up. So you could be 12 and you could have 8-year-old kids all playing on the same age.
For real?
Yeah.
Well, the kids all still can play.
Yeah. But I'm talking about
It was
the way it was
common.
designed.
I'm messing.
Yeah, that's the way it was designed back then.
So not to jump off the subject, where do you think the kids that just got better now to where it just separating? What you think changed between that time and now?
I don't think it's the kids. I think the separation is coaches. I think a lot of times coaches feel like to me, youth football is driven by winning. Coaches want to win so much to where they create opportunities to win. In other words, what I mean, like if I got some kids that's 5, 6, and 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then if they went up to a 9, 10, 11 age group, they're going to be on the bottom. So they probably ain't going to win as much as they would playing against kids their age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what coaches have done is realize that. So what they doing is saying, okay, then let's just go 2 years.
Yeah.
Some of them still couldn't win, so they okay. Let's put every kid on the same age group. So that's why I think now age pearl is so important to a lot of coaches, because they feel like that they can win like 7, 8 years in a row. But to me, I don't like age pearl for the simple fact: when you get in high school, you're in the 9th grade playing against kids 10. So just in the 12th grade. So just imagine if all the while you was playing football for 8 years in Pee Wee sports, you never once had a opportunity to play with older kids. It's gonna hurt you when you get in 9th grade.
For sure.
Because you never played against older kids.
Exactly.
So now you might be in the 9th grade, might be the best thing on the team. But then you go to varsity, it's a mental thing now, because kids is thinking that I'm supposed to play against kids my age and you're not.
So you like the traditional, the way everybody's going back to traditional. You like, I see Texas Sport went back traditional. Everybody's going to do. So you like that ideal of playing the traditional?
I like it for 2 reasons. The main reason why I like it is difficult in a lot of our impoverished communities to get a lot of kids that's the same age group. So what that does is when you do that, what's going to happen is it limits the amount of kids can be on your team. So you might have a 17-team roster. On that roster, you might have 9 kids that's 7, and then you might have the other one that's 8.
For sure.
If you take them off, you don't even have a team for those 2 kids. So what start happening is you start destroying the community, and you're really not understanding that you're doing it, because them other 10 kids that you got to go get now to make up that team probably ain't from that community.
Sure.
You're probably gonna go all the way around Fort Worth recruiting those kids.
Exactly.
And now you're taking those kids from another community.
Exactly.
And I think
that's what's happening.
and
That's exactly what's happening.
To me,
right now.
youth sports is about.
Even from another city.
Oh
though.
yeah,
So
there's no question about
This
it.
kid's getting taken from forget another community. They getting it from a whole
Man,
other city.
There's no question about it. Youth sports is about community. And when you take youth sports out of the concept of the community, to me, you really start a community unconditionally. I don't think no coach really understands it, because a lot of these coaches is not in the community that they bring them kids from. But I've always looked at sports from a concept. If all 4 of us is really homeboys when we're young, like 5 years old, and let's say you a star, you ain't, and I ain't. You know who we gonna look up to? We looking up to you.
For sure.
So what happens when they take you away? Now we stuck like Chuck. We don't have no athlete that can go to the basketball court and you gonna pick us. You know they're along with us. We go to the football. We're not there. So what happens is you start destroying the whole concept of the community, and then you start looking at things different, and the schools start failing, and everything start failing. And we as black men are saying, well, it's failing, yeah, but we taking our kids out of our own community. So yes, they don't have no choice but to fail, because when you grow, if you're a man, if all 4 of us men in the same community, it's our job to build a community. We can't build it by destroying it. You can't have it on both. But again, that's just my That's just the way that I view it, and that's why I've always stayed in the South Side. That with the South Side, I always doing with Morningside and not going nowhere. That's just not gonna happen because I know what my influences is within that community.
Okay, we ain't gonna give them too much game.
Man, no,
Hold on,
let's
hold
go.
on. No,
Hold on, that's
hold
game
So-
that they
so-
need
so-
to
so- but
use,
we're gonna get
man.
we gonna get it there.
That was some of the
We're
realest.
gonna get there. So you
Dang.
not a good job. We're gonna get there
That
though for
was
sure.
mind-blowing.
So
We gonna
you
get there.
you went to head coach at the Poly Hornets,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So after you left the head coach, after you got the head coach's job, what was your next job?
I became the president. I became the president 38 years ago.
You became the president of Southside Hornets.
Southside. Well, now I became the president of Poly Hornets.
Okay.
I'm the one changing the Southside.
So you changed them Southside Hornets.
So
okay.
how old were you when that happened?
Maybe in my early 30s.
In your early 30s.
Early 30s.
Okay, what league was y'all in at the time when you became?
I can't think of the name of it, but it was I know it's this white guy named Alan Green.
Okay.
Was the president of the league, but it was us, Forest Hill.
So was it Mason?
No, it was before Mason.
It was before. Damn, that was before my time.
I started Mason.
You started Mason?
Yeah, I was the first president of Mason.
For real?
Yeah, which
Wow.
I didn't start it. What happened was, I can't think of the name of the league we was in, but I know it was a white guy named Alan Green that was the president of it.
Okay, I heard him.
Yeah, and so what happened, we had a problem in the community as it relates to kids, because when we was playing in that league, they had a weight limit.
Okay,
So
remember the way
you could have kids that was 10 years old. If they was overweight, they had to play with the 12-year-olds.
Mm.
But if they was 12 years old and they was over to play, it was nowhere for them to play. So now you got kids that's 12-year-old going back into the streets. So this was my biggest concern was because it was a guy it was a kid that used to play with me named Cookie Monster. Now everybody that played with Southside back then know who Cookie Monster was. When I'm telling you he was a beast, he was a beast. But this last year supposed to have been playing for me, he was overweight. He couldn't play. Cookie Monster wound up getting shot when he was like 13 or 14. I went to see him in the hospital, and what he told me, he said, Coach Pat, the reason why I got shot was because I couldn't play football. So I took that personal.
Wow.
So my thing was not going back into this league that we was in. I'm like,
Damn.
man, we got to do something about this weight limit. We can't be putting kids back in the streets. So the white guy, Alan Green, told us in the board meeting that if we ever voted to lift the weight limit up to a higher weight limit, that he would lift. That year we voted to get him out, Alan Green ain't been in youth sports since that.
So he left because of the weight limit. He
left.
gave up on the kid.
He gave up. Well, I guess his thing was some people see weight limit
It's
as an
safety.
importance.
Yeah,
Safety.
safety.
Yeah.
I don't see it because we still dealing with kids. If your son is 12 and my son is 12, it is what it is. That's just me.
And you ain't getting them ready for middle school and high school.
I
either.
agree with
Because
that.
ain't no weight limits there.
Yeah, but now don't. But see, that's why it started going the way that it started going. So when that happened, the league failed. The league folded, and so when the league folded, it was me, Cynthia from Evelyn,
Okay.
Cynthia husband. I can't think of his name right now. Then with me, at the time, my vice president Ricky Warren, and then Arlington Apache's organization. We the one that got together and started.
Man.
So
hey,
we-
shout out to Arlington Apache. They've been looking
Yeah,
good.
Arlington
too, man.
Apache.
Arlington Apache, man. Y'all tag somebody that's with the Arlington Apache's football team. I've been seeing them. They've been doing
Yeah,
good.
I mean, they've been doing
yeah,
great, man.
But yeah, they definitely been doing great. So you started the Mesa.
Yeah, all four of us organizations.
Yeah, we don't want to discredit them, but you
definitely.
yeah, but
I was
yeah.
the first president for the first 2 years. I was the
Okay,
president for the first 2 years.
so right now, so we'll speed it up. So right now, you are the president of the Southside Hornets organization.
Yeah.
Y'all do what sports do y'all do up there?
And we do football and basketball, but then we do mentoring.
Okay.
I got a parent engagement program.
For sure.
I got a lot of other things other than just the sports.
So this is what I hold my coaches accountable. I see not just my coaches, but the guys in the community that's being leaders. I see with you. I give you your flowers, and we glad that you came on the Free Game Podcast
definitely.
because for the most part, you do things outside of sports.
Oh, definitely.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that, for me, I look up to the guys that do things outside. Like I was telling my coaches over there at the Ravens when I was coaching over there, I say, man, I do things outside of sports.
Yeah.
I do things with kids outside. And that's when you really know that you have a passion for kids.
Definitely.
But when you see, and I'm not knocking no coach that don't do it, but you see the love for the kids when it just ain't on the football field, when you doing doing other mentoring or you doing this and doing that, then that's how you really get an idea if how a guy is with the kids. If they
it's
really
not
the
necessarily
kids.
better. It's different though.
For sure.
So it's not to say that the situation makes you a better person.
For sure.
But it makes you a different person.
A different person.
So
exactly.
when somebody's looking at who you are within your community, you want them to see a different person than anybody else in the community.
For sure.
So when you do extra stuff,
Yeah.
people see you different.
See you different.
And it's good.
Exactly.
It's not nothing to brag about. It's
No.
Like you said, it's not nothing to say that if another organization not
Doesn't do
that
it.
they're not a
They-
good
they-
organization.
yeah.
It's just that as you start dealing with kids, the more you deal with kids push you down certain roads.
But I also think too, once you get to know a kid outside of football, then you get to see what his life is and what he's going through.
Yeah.
Because some of our babies are going through things at
Oh, yeah,
home
man.
that can
Yes,
affect
sir.
the football field.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if you don't know,
If you
him, he might have a problem. He might have
Most
anything.
of them got a problem.
Yeah. So a lot of them got like some.
Yeah,
So if
some
you don't know him
major
outside of
problems.
this football field, then you really don't know what
And
they're going through.
I think that's where a lot of issues start. Because if you just go to a football field and you just know a kid on his athletic ability,
Exactly.
you just know his heart, but you don't know his soul.
Exactly. Coach.
When you get a chance to be around his parents, when you get a chance to go to his school, when you begin to know that kid's soul. And
For
when
sure.
when you tap into a kid's soul, the kid ain't going nowhere.
Nah.
He's not. Now you can have his heart all you want to.
Yeah.
But another coach can grab his heart.
Yeah.
But if you tap into that kid's soul, that kid ain't going nowhere. Even if the mama want to take that kid somewhere. I done had kids come tell me, hey, Coach Pat, I might not play with y'all next year. I might say, why? He said, well, I want to play with y'all, but my mama don't want me to, or my daddy don't want me to. And I understand. Those are things that parents do.
Shout out to
Especially
Dwayne.
when they got a good kid.
Dwayne.
People try to recruit them. It's gonna happen.
Man,
but when you got the kid like that,
Yeah.
they don't go nowhere.
But you
Man,
just, yeah.
I found myself, and not to diss. I found myself when you talking, I just listening, man, because it be so much. It be this stuff that's beneath the surface that we don't even acknowledge no more.
Well,
What
I-
you
I-
saying?
yeah.
But Coach Pat, but the way Coach Pat, I'm gonna tell you something because I remember you say you played in the Optimist program out there in Arlington. But let me tell you something, bro. From Bunzel Thomas to Coach Slick to Coach T, Coach Jerome. It was just it was normal for us to get a Coach Pat. All our coaches picked us
I had
up.
them too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you know
had
what I'm
them
saying.
too.
So we just got. After their generation, I just think we got away from it. Like it was normal for Bunzel Thomas, which he big now, but for us to spend the night, him pick us up from school, him come check on us at school, or shit, I ought to be going to California. He tell me you ain't playing today.
But see, it's different now. Nowadays, back then, all of our coaches was fathers. And I'm not saying father as the word father.
For sure.
I'm talking about father as the action of a father.
Exactly, bro.
So
Same, man.
A real father understand that my son is not knowing more important than his friends.
Exactly.
Well, hey, let me pause
Exactly.
you guys real quick to show some love where love is due. We got some comments from the folks at home. Actually, that was the wrong one I flipped around.
Well, shout out to Dwayne. Dwayne said Coach
Yeah,
Pat
that's
used
what
to
I-
pick me up when I was 11 and 12 years old for basketball practice. I'm 36 years old now. So a person don't ever forget. See, we can run the ball, we can run touchdown, we can do it. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I remember the times when I needed a father figure, I needed somebody there.
Yeah.
I remember, like I say, shout out to Bunzel Thomas. He used to pick us up, take us, tell me how to talk to a girl, tell me how to, me, Ray Sneed, me and Ray, things like this.
That
So,
fatherly advice
yeah,
that
so-
you missing,
and
that
you
you
know-
may be missing on the forefront of the
Exactly.
But it's the difference between a fatherly advice and a father lifestyle.
For sure.
They are different.
Exactly.
A lot of us consider ourselves as fathers because we have children.
for sure.
But how well do you nourish your child? It's the nourishment and the relationship between between you and your son that draws other kids to you. Because they see their son having fun around you.
For sure.
In other words, what I'm saying, what I do is I always watch fathers. If I'm around y'all and y'all kid for about an hour or two, I can come pretty much and tell y'all exactly how y'all relationship with y'all children.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing about a boy. A boy is always going to feel comfortable about just the presence of his daddy.
For sure.
So that means if he had a football field, every once in a while you'll be looking, he's gonna run over there with his dad. Even if it's just to hit his daddy, play with it, and walk off.
For sure.
A man that ain't got a relationship with his son, he gonna bring him to that football field for the whole day. You'll never see him with his daddy.
See, and see, that's my thing that I was
I'm
preaching.
just being honest.
No, that's
wrong.
real.
No, fact.
It's nothing wrong.
Now, Coach Pat, that's why I say I don't even really got and it's not that I don't got no questions. It's that you got so much answers and wisdom out there, man. And it's mind blowing, man. I don't find myself doing that with a lot of guests. where I'm lost for words and I'm caught up in what, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time I do the most talking because I can't wait till they stop talking so I can start talking. But this is, man, even when we on the phone, man, I be just quiet, man. I just be, man, say it's just real game.
So where do you feel like, okay, so we're going to get deep off into it. Okay, so we was on, I want to just speed it up. So we was at traditional, right? Mm-hmm. We was on traditional and pure. But I want to ask you, where do you feel like we went wrong in today's time with the youth football?
When
because
I see it, the way that I went wrong is when you start recruiting coaches. I think the worstest thing a youth association can do is recruit coaches. Because the thing that I've learned about a coach, if he's an individual coach, he feel like that he's just as much as important as the team that he's going to, but he's really not. The importance, if you're an organization, if you see things from an organization standpoint, it's the parents, the kids, and then the coaches. But if you look at it from a coaching standpoint, he feel like it's the coach, the kids, then the parents. That's a backwards relationship. And so now you have a lot of organizations that have kids, and instead of them looking at a parent, hey man, look here, man, I see you're a good parent, man. Won't you start coaching? Yeah, I do it all the time. I never have recruited a coach out of 40 years. If you look at every coach that's with Southside, either they came in as a father or there was somebody I coached before in my life. You ain't gonna see not one coach with Southside that you can say came from these big organizations. It's not to knock them.
For sure.
It's just that I understand that as good as you coach and the things that I see you do, when you go somewhere, you taking something with you.
So, and that's what I was telling the organization not too long ago, and I ain't gonna mention no name. I was giving them some game. Me personally, when I was telling them, I say when y'all hire a coach, they need to been with the organization or somebody that that worked their way up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you know then it's true love for the organization.
And not only that, you can't get your organization stolen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree with that.
And like I say, at the end of the day, I also got game from people like y'all, you know, older guys that gave me the game, because I see a lot of organizations actually getting their team stolen.
But the thing about it's gonna happen.
For sure.
You can't train the starts on a zebra. He might go to a different pasture, but he's still a zebra. All you gotta do is watch how some guys move, and that's just the way that they move. And when they move like that, you know the way that they move. And so if they come take your kids to take your organization, ain't no need you get.
So do you mind us asking, have that ever happened to you? To
not
you?
Necessarily to that degree, but it have happened years ago. Years ago when I was at Bertha Collins. Years ago. I don't know if I should be saying this. Because but it is what it is. But years ago, I'm not gonna call him that.
No, for sure.
Years ago, an individual came into our organization, and the individual felt as though that because it was because he was coaching a particular age group, and sometimes we as leaders, in other words, as a man, I'm always gonna give every other man a fair opportunity.
Exactly.
I don't care what if somebody came and told me y'all was rotten, it wouldn't matter to me because I'm going to be able to deal with y'all myself. And I'm a good judge of character, whether you're right or not. So you're going to give everybody a free chance. I was giving this individual a free opportunity, and based on the freedom that I gave him, and don't get me wrong, I knew he was taking the team before he took it. He just didn't know I knew. I knew because of the way he was moving. So I had already had a meeting with some of my board members and everybody and told me, look here, man, that particular team going in next year, we're not going to have that team. They said, well, Patrick, how do you know? I said, don't worry about it. We're not going to have that team. That next year, that team left.
Damn. So did they build a team off the back?
They started a team, but I think it lasted maybe a year.
Okay.
And then it faded away.
So how do you feel about us as man? I got so many inboxes last night. I actually told my co-host and I called him after the show and I was telling them how we've been talking about Fort Worth. Yeah. Like I say, Dallas is great. I think Dallas did a tremendous job on building Dallas up. Yeah. You know, so how do you think we can get Fort Worth back to the football, like back when you like the 90s, the 80s, you know, when you had the Chaparrals, you had Hallmark, you had the competitive. How can we get it back? Do you feel like with us making a move and going out there playing here, how can we get back to Fort Worth to where we can be competitive?
To me, we would have to have I think every organization in Fort Worth, in order for it to happen, every organization in Fort Worth, as it relates to their presidents, have to sit down in a room together. Because sometimes people might convince me that you're somebody you're really not. But if I have the opportunity to sit down and really get to know you, I can see you different.
For sure.
I think in Fort Worth, been so many breakups amongst teams to where everybody got a watered down view of who we really is as youth sports. And the only way to get that back is for all of us. And when we get together, we got to be honest. If I don't like you, nigga, I need to tell everybody I don't like you.
For real.
I'm just being honest.
No, for real.
Because I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying that I don't like you.
Exactly.
But I can look beyond that and put that down and say, okay, we can work together.
Yeah, exactly.
The number one thing is working together. And then after that, I think we need to do is kind of corner the market as it relates to facilities in Fort Worth. We need to get in a youth sports in Fort Worth need to create, and I was in the process of doing it, but when I got sick a couple of years ago, I kind of walked away from it. But youth sports in the city of Fort Worth need to create a lockdown mechanism to lock down all the high schools in the city of Fort Worth. Because at the end of the day, if we the one that's raising our kids, and in a part of raising our kids, we want our kids to go to these schools. I think the educational system should be obligated to say, okay, you get ODY, you get Tech, you get this school, and now we locked it out. We locked it all in together. And then once you do that, and once you got the fields, but the number one thing is holding each other accountable. Every league that I've been into, the biggest problem is accountability. It's those moments when those last 2 games of the season happen and the Negro cheat. I'm just being honest.
No, for real. No,
get caught cheating or whatever, and then it go to the board, and the board don't make the proper decision.
No, for sure.
And then it give people the right to say, well, you this, you this, you this, you this. No, if you get the board to make the proper decision, then at the end of the day, if something happen to you, if you get caught cheating, get caught cheating. It ain't no. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Is
but I
there
think
a board
that
for Texas sports?
I don't think it. I don't know about Texas sports, so I can't speak.
So do you feel like? So I was on the phone today. I'm just gonna give y'all. I ain't gonna give y'all everything now. I was on the phone with some presidents and some people over their league. Do you feel like you would come to the table and bring forward back if everybody could come and sit down?
I don't have no problem with it, but that's why I do my own. See, I was doing my own flag football league.
Okay.
And right now I still do my own basketball league. I do that for a reason.
Okay.
Because I'm not one to try to say what a person ain't doing. I'm one that's gonna step out and do it. So that's why I do my own basketball league, and hopefully in the near future I can do my own baseball league. That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do. So I'm because like I said, I already said at the table with the Fort Worth Independent School District.
For sure.
I don't know if y'all know this, but about a year or two ago, the Fort Worth School District actually really scheduled a meeting with a lot of presidents in Fort Worth to try to get this thing that I'm talking about started. So
we had
our first meeting, but again, I got COVID. And when I got COVID and I got sick, I haven't heard nothing else about it.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, I know some other guys that's having them meetings right now. They're your age.
Yeah.
They having these same meetings, and
I'm
they locking down the
sure
school. Yeah, they locking down the schools.
I'm quite sure I know what you're talking
And these guys are telling me, hey, we're willing to come to the table, bring our leagues and these leagues. So, and like I say, I always take my hat out to Dallas, but like I love the way Texas Sport is building Dallas up. I mean, I love the way that they building it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm from this city, so I'm like, okay, what do we need to do? How do we bring? Because at the end of the day, when people look at North Crowley or they look at Poly, they look at ODY, bro, we got to bring the kids back here so we can start competing.
Yeah.
We used to have a feeding. Chaparral kids used to go to ODY. Kozak used to come over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we used to ride the school bus, go to Tyler with them. We used to do things like that.
Yeah.
So we got to start a feeder.
Yeah.
We got to
still do it, you know.
Okay.
I go to homecoming and everything. So me and White got a great work.
You know who else do it? And I seen it, and I take my hat out to them when I was over there, even though it's Metroflex. The Metroflex over there, everything that goes with Trinity, bro. How they use the field, they use all that. They feed Trinity. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. The RYA, they RYA feed.
But that's
Richland
what you have
Hills.
to do. That's what you have to do.
You know, Richland Hill, give them shout out to Coach E too at Richland Hill.
But I think to answer your question, I think it's doable.
Okay.
It's gonna have to be a lot of men that's gonna have to kind of drop their pride.
For sure.
Because the leagues now has worked so many different ways to where each league can give you a different benefit.
For sure.
And I think that the question is going to be when they get together, because let's just take for me, for instance. If my kids win an opportunity at Nationals, I'm cool. I ain't bidding for no Nationals.
For sure.
Now, if we play, and that's a part of our league, and we participate, I owe it to my kids to where if we go to regionals, go to national, I owe it to them to try to get them there because they won.
For sure.
But as far as me saying,
oh, I'm just gonna go to national.
No, I ain't going.
Exactly.
If we don't win, then we win. I'm cool with that. But that's just me.
Nah.
It's not to knock nobody else. Even if one of my coaches come up to me and say, Coach Pat, I want to take one of our teams to national. I don't have a problem with him doing it. He gonna have to make it happen because I just believe in the earned mentality. And when I'm dealing with kids and dealing with parents, if we ain't earned it,
we don't need to go. I feel
that's just the way I am.
Man,
it's not to knock nothing else, but in my mind, if we didn't earn that,
nah.
Because to me it does no meaning. Because what people don't understand back way, and you probably back when y'all were playing, we went to what they was back then. Back then the Nationals was considered just after the game's over with going to states.
Yeah.
We was the first one did that.
Yeah.
We started Mesa the first 2 years. Us, Forest Hill, we would all get on buses together.
Yeah.
And ride to Oklahoma or whatever and play
yeah.
against. So that was considered the same thing. The only thing they're doing now is more organized.
For sure.
But as far as competing against other states, we not really did that. So to me, it's just not it's not nothing in me that makes me want to compete against another state if I haven't beat
Low-key, Tarrant County kind of started the trend.
So how do you
Lamar
feel
went to Florida for the first time?
Who was that?
The first team to
Oh, now we ain't never went that far.
Yeah, the first team to ever go to Florida was Lamar High School in the 90s, and that was the first ever national championship.
Yeah.
So how do you so with that being said, last year your 12 you won Super Bowl in in the Fort Worth League.
Yeah.
So was that what was one of the best teams you've probably been a part of? I mean,
Age group. Man. Now, dog, man, we didn't have some good teams. I would say the year that Shaw played with me was probably the best years that I would say.
Yeah.
I won the Super Bowl with Shaw 4 years in a row.
Damn.
Yeah. When he was 8, 9, well, he was 7, 8, 9, 10, no, 5. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We lost.
And what league was y'all in at that point?
With Mesa.
Y'all was with Mesa.
Yeah. Well, but that's when Mesa was big. A lot of people don't understand. When we first started Mesa, a lot of people don't know this. When we first started Mesa, it was Mesa teams. We had Dallas teams and everything. It wasn't only Fort Worth.
Okay.
We had Dallas. We had Duncanville. We had a bunch of teams in there. But that group with Shaw, I don't really remember what year it was. But I just know that I tell you what, whenever JP played for Forest Hill.
This one I played.
What do you do? Do you remember who Shaw is?
Oh,
He was that big running back.
Y'all had Dominique.
Well, now I think Shaw, you're older than Dominique. So I think Dominique is older than Shaw. You talking about Dominique? No, but the year, what was the other two boys? Went to Evelyn. The Fulbrights.
They probably was older than me then.
The one that you remember when Evelyn had that national team, one state, and they had a kid that got paralyzed?
Yeah, Corey Fulbright.
Corey Fulbright.
Yeah.
He played with us too. But his two brothers played with Shaw.
Right.
That group of kids, to me personally, was the best team that I ever coached. There was so much talent on that team that we ever could. Matter of fact, Maurice Harrison.
Okay.
Maurice Harrison was on that team. That was the best team I ever coached.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you the president over there right now at Southside Hornets, and where y'all going with the football? Where do you see y'all going in the next couple of years with Southside Hornets?
I've been with this organization for 41 years. I have never left a league. Only time I leave a league is when the league is no more. So as far as I'm concerned, even though I allow BA, which is my football director, I allow him to make 99.9% of decisions as it relates to football.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, once we joined it, I don't have no reason to leave.
For sure.
That's just the way. That's just in my. Because at the end of the game, all this other stuff that don't make difference to me. What makes a difference to me is when we get out on that football field on Saturday, and we participate. That's it.
For sure.
All that other stuff about where you going, and I don't care nothing about none of that.
So you don't basically care about where y'all play in, what league y'all play in?
I don't, because it's not. I don't think that it's a league that we can play in that after a period of time we won't be competitive. We're going to adjust to the time.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about transitioning to having to play games in Dallas and go out there?
It doesn't matter to me. I don't think like that. My mind is just that if I got to play you in Alaska and you on my schedule, we're going to figure out a way to go to Alaska. That's just the way I think. I don't never think in my mind from a concept,
No.
man, we got to go to Dallas 3 weekends in a row. That just didn't just in me. It never done on me.
You in football so much as
man, whatever.
So you don't think?
schedules
So
go
you don't think that as far as the talent. So say for instance, y'all get in Texas sport, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel like the talent is gonna be uneven.
I think it will be, but I don't. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think
on that team.
I wouldn't
Not
say,
on that team.
I wouldn't say that the talent. I've never looked at talent being uneven because when I coach, I've never seen a team I coached against when my talent matched up that I didn't beat them, or vice versa, or within the game to win. I don't look at it from necessarily talent a lot of times because a lot of times it's just how many kids you got. If you got 30 kids and you got 30 athletes, and I got 15 kids but I only got 3 athletes, even though we can say the word talent, it's really not talent. You just got too many athletes. When we on the field, I have no business on the field with you. But what happens is after a period of time, coaches most of the time coach to what they believe that makes them win. So if I'm in a league and I'm playing against you and I see you beat me early in the year, I'm coaching to beat you. Whenever I see you again, my intentions, if I know you're the best team in the league, I'm coaching to beat you. But what if in another league it's 10 teams better than you? I don't know that.
What's up?
So I can't coach up to that because I'm not playing against them.
What's up?
But if I get in that league, because every coach has a habit. You just got to understand what that habit is. Every coach do. They either going to be a passing coach, they're going to be a power coach. They're going to have something that every time you watch them, when they get in a crunch, they're going to lean towards something. The only thing you got to do as a coach is coach against their habits.
So what
And a
age
lot of
group do
times
you
do
coach
that.
over there with the football?
Well, right now I'm doing 7 and 8. Last year I did flag.
Okay.
So this year I'm doing 7 and 8.
Okay. So you're doing 7 and 8.
Yeah, I'm doing them babies.
Ooh, them babies hard. Them babies hard. Now, and like I said, so with that being said, man, I can't wait to see y'all. Y'all done grown. I see y'all put together a nice 12U over there. It look like
Oh
y'all.
yeah, 12U is gonna be good. I like the 10U myself personally.
Yeah, that
They-
team is a monster.
That's I like I said again. I said teams I coached. That's probably one of the most talented teams that we have had in years. You know, I've never coached a team to where I can line my kids up 11, offensive, defensively, and not weak nowhere. I have never been blessed to have that.
And
Normally I might have
that's the big
4 good players and have to kind of pick and choose
where you put
and
them
in
in
certain
position.
plays, I might call a defense or offense to move them.
That team
and
be flooded, though.
or something like that. But I have never been blessed to say I put 11 kids on offense and all 11 of them can do what they do. If I throw it, if I run it, or whatever. Our 10U team that we have right now can do that.
say.
They can literally put 11 kids on the field. And when I'm telling you they won't be weak nowhere, they won't be. The only thing that I think that could be an issue and it might not even be an issue, as they grow, is because our teams don't really play against a lot of what you consider to be big time teams. You follow what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they might see something in certain games that they hadn't seen before. And it could be in bad position or whatever the case. But for an individual talent matchup, I guarantee you.
So do you take a team like that and put them in that position, like
You probably would have to, considering.
yeah.
You probably gonna have to take them, and I'm quite sure BA will.
Yeah.
But you probably gonna have to take them boys and let them really play against. I wouldn't even, since they're doing some age career team, maybe some 11-year-old age career team. Because when I'm saying that team is talented, that team is talented. I mean, they like 3 quarterback deep, like 6 running backs deep. I mean, they are talented.
Dang.
They real. It's the best talent. Like I said again, I've never been able to coach a team that talented. But because with me, I don't know, man. That team is just talented. And then the thing about it, the thing that I like about Southside, and this is not no knocks on nobody else. All of our kids is our kids.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna look at a kid that's really good with Southside and say, hey, last year he played with this team. No, 99.9% of the kids that you see, if they good in Southside, they was good in Southside all the way up. And that's what I really respect about my coaches and about my parents and about my organization, that they allow their kids to stay there. So when they get older, it's nothing new. And again, and that particular group.
So do you change a lot of your coaches, or do you add coaches to when it comes to Southside? Or
I had parents.
So you add parents.
Parents, I'm telling you, I have never recruited a coach. There's not one man can call you right now and tell you Coach Pat ever recruited a coach. I never have. Every coach that coached me, again, is either a parent that turned into a coach or kids that came back. The only one that's not is BA. I don't really know how he wound up with us, because I heard he used to coach. with somebody else. But I know he's been with us now anywhere from 8 to 10 years. But he's the only one. Every other coach I have is either a parent that turned into a coach, or he actually was a kid that I used to coach that came back and coached.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got in over
Yeah,
there.
that's what it is.
Nah, for sure.
Because when you see when a parent come to your organization and you see a man hungry for his child, to me that's the best coach in the world. Because if he's hungry for his child,
He's gonna be hungry for yours.
he's hungry for yours. But the key to it, he's not obligated to nobody else. He's not, but when you bring a coach over there, he's already obligated to something, whether it be winning, whether it be the kids he brought over here, whether it be the organization he just left, he's already obligated to something. A new parent ain't obligated to nothing. And they gonna give you love all the way around. And they'll tell you, hey, Coach Pat, if you need me to help pay for some kids, I got you. When you recruit coaches, the average coach ain't finna do that. The average, I'm not saying some of them, but the average coach, because why? He coming to you knowing that he got something that you want.
Yeah.
But I think as it relates to the relationship between coach and organization, the coaches need to come to the organization with the concept of I'm finna provide a service for the organization.
Exactly.
Not the organization finna provide a service for me.
For
But
sure.
a lot of times that's just the way that and then some presidents.
So do you think a lot of our organizations are not succeeding because of the lack of far as like we're recruiting the wrong coaches and we're going after the wins instead of the teaching the kids development? How do you feel like, far as like that?
I think it's what you allow a coach to do. Like for instance, me, I'm just a hard-nosed coach, and when it comes down to all the technical stuff, I let them other coaches do that because that ain't me. But if you bring a kid to me and you want that kid to be a disciplined kid, you want him to know what he's doing, and you want him to have respect for a coach, I'm that person. I can put that in any kid. As it relates to them, how quick they do coming out wide receiver, I don't understand all them the tangible things. I don't. So what I do, but I got coaches
They do.
that do. So I just call coach, hey coach, man, if I was running this defense, how would you defend this? Because I want to figure it out myself. I'm not gonna tell him ask him what to do. I'm gonna say, like for instance, if you're a defensive coach, I call, hey, say, Coach Drake, man, if I ran trips over here and I ran this, how would you cover that?
Yeah, for sure.
Because once you tell me how you gonna cover it,
Yeah,
I'm gonna run it in such a way to where you ain't gonna be able to cover it.
No.
So in my mind, that's the way I coach. But I have a lot of coaches that I can kick information like that on, so it makes me a better coach. But as it relates to every day going to practice with these little tangible things, I'm just not a tangible.
Yeah.
It's just not.
So how do you get I see you have a lot of the young guys over there at Southside Hornets. How do you, because a lot of the older guys, they can't kind of relate to the young guys. How do you keep them young guys coming in? Is it because you're so relaxed or what?
Well, yeah, because I like I told you, I give everybody a chance. I don't, like for instance, sometimes you can get so technical and you can make yourself so business orientated to where you can destroy yourself just because of the way that your business is set up.
Yeah.
That's in anything, whether it's what y'all doing now, whatever. You can get so business orientated to where you stuck on this one thing business wise, but you don't realize you destroying something over here. I'm not that person.
So,
I'm that type of person. I have to see the business as it relates. So if I put you in as a coach, you can tell me all you want to know as a coach. It don't matter to me. I'm saying the way you're working with the kids.
yeah.
And me saying you're working with the kids, I know after 2 practices whether you're a coach or not. So then I might have to come to you and say, look here, Dre, I understand you want to coach. I'm going to let you coach, but you can't be no head coach. Because I know that you wouldn't have those qualities based on what I'm seeing you do. If you come in to me and say, hey, coach, I want to coach.
So have you ever did that?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have.
Well, they gotta hurt the person. So I'm over running practice. Run, trip right, and then they know that
But you ain't
boss
no head
is
coach.
You ain't no head coach now. I'm just going home. I'm sick.
But see, the difference is,
You ain't no head coach.
but it's how you approach it. It's how you see. I think that anytime a man approach another man like that, it don't hurt as much. I'm not saying that it wouldn't hurt.
It hurt me.
But
I'm gonna tell you, that gonna hurt me.
well, let me rephrase this. Maybe it did hurt him, but they didn't show me it hurt.
Nah, for
So
sure.
maybe
You
it
can't
did.
show
But
another
I
man
have-
you hurt.
but
He
I have-
cried in the car.
But-
For sure.
But the thing
As
about
soon
it,
as he got the
you
car.
have to be. I'm not a harsh person, but I understand kids.
For sure.
So I understand that I can't allow, if you coaching kids, but you, let's say you don't have, and I'm not trying to talk about no coaches, but let's say you don't have no man in you at all. I'm talking about man, this.
No, for sure.
Let's say it's not in you. And to me as a person, If you don't have that man in you, you can't lead kids.
Hold on, say it
saying
again.
all the time.
Say it again.
That's what we say all the time.
If that man is not in you, you can't lead kids. So why would I then make you a head coach?
But forget it's a lot, and I'm not speaking on no. It's a lot of organizations.
No, I'm talking about any level.
Like presidents.
Yeah, I know.
They ain't got the men in them.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference because
they choosing the coaches.
Yeah.
So it becomes a slippery slope because now
Yeah.
I'm a girl. I got women ways up here, and
so-
I'm hiring guys with women ways,
just can't do
and
it.
it just keep going on.
You
And
can't
that's
do it.
why, and not to
And
get
it's
off the
not,
subject.
no, but that's part of the subject.
Dre,
because-
who are you talking?
Nah, it ain't no subject.
Who
are you talking about?
It ain't no this.
You
I think it's
see what I'm saying?
It's common. It's a
But
common
see,
practice.
Let me tell you why I'm going with that. Because look how long Southside done survived. Think about all these big name organizations, and I'm not saying they had them ways, but think of how long y'all been around?
Over 40 years.
Think about how long they been around and how long teams that done won nationals and disappeared and went here and went there, and they still here and them teams are gone.
Yeah.
What Warrior say? That's that
4-year curse.
Yeah.
So it's got
and Robert telling the truth.
Yeah.
Can I tell you?
that's
Can I tell you something, bro?
Yeah.
Think about this. He's talking about what I'm. It started with the fucking head. Excuse my
Yeah.
language. It started with the head.
Yeah.
It does.
The head ain't letting it disappear.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get back to Coach Back.
Nah, because
it's
it
the
start
head.
with
The head of the house. You the head of your house.
Yeah, having that mentality that it takes a man to do this shit.
Exactly.
It's so many organizations that when they get a stand-up guy around, it's shake him.
Yeah.
So they want his ass going immediately.
Yeah.
That's
You
true.
see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he real. That's a real man. So he gonna stand on principle.
Yeah.
He gonna hold you
Cause
accountable.
I can't be around nothing that's fake.
Listen, because he's gonna be the one to tell you you're wrong in your
So you
face.
gotta make sure you don't get him. a
So we
president.
can't
Oh,
get
yeah,
him
yeah.
around because
Nah, you
this
can't.
guy's gonna look at
But
us and
they-
tell us you're wrong. Be accountable.
Well, a
And that shit
man
make
and
him
a man and a boy can't walk together.
Man, I think that's why I get kicked out the room.
They
a
just
lot.
can't. I'm being honest with that.
Nah, for sure.
No matter how a person come at me, if you come at me and at the end of the day I realize you're a man, I can take that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know that if both of us men, the Bible says iron sharpen iron.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna sharpen each other.
Yeah.
But I know that if you come to me sideways, you're not coming to me as a man. We're gonna destroy each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm the leader, I gotta go ahead and take care of that. I gotta go ahead and nip that in the bud to where
Mhm.
I won't allow you
To
to destroy me. So I'm not gonna put you in a position
Nah,
that
for
you're
sure.
gonna destroy my organization.
Exactly.
I'm just
For
not
sure.
gonna do it.
Exactly.
But it's not about going to nobody, arguing with nobody. It's not about none of that. As a leader, you gotta be wise enough to see people that can lead you which direction they lead.
Nah, and I want my people to understand that with Coach Pat. Bro, Southside been around a long time because giving Coach Pat his flowers, we got him here today because he's still standing today.
Because
Think about nationals. Think about these guys that went to Florida and won nationals and did this and did that.
Yeah.
How many Florida trips y'all had?
Now.
And then
You ain't had
around-
that now Florida
Truly
trip.
went.
Been around,
Yeah,
been around 40
and we gonna
years.
say that, but y'all still standing right
Yeah.
now. So does that all of that glamour matter?
It matters. And I'm finna explain to you why.
Go ahead.
As a father, when my kids was going to school at Wide,
Okay.
I always bought them Jordans.
Okay.
A lot of people would tell me, well, man, why you buying your kids Jordan and buying? I said, but y'all missing the point. The Jordans has nothing to do with wanting them to like money or like wealth.
For sure.
The Jordans has something to do, I don't want them to feel less fortunate.
For sure.
So when you take that concept with nationals, yeah, it makes me feel some type of way as a president. When other teams in Fort Worth is going to nationals, it's just like, I'm gonna use two kids for an example. We have a kid, and I know all y'all heard about this kid, Lil Buck.
Buck.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, he got a
Buck,
brother, Southside.
Yeah.
Now on the flag level, both of them played with us, but Southside went to TNS. With all of the opportunities that
He got.
TNS gave him, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The glamour that they gave him, I'm quite sure it bothered the mother. I'm quite sure. Because how would you feel as a parent that's at home and one of your kids in Florida and others in Fort Worth watching when that possibility could have been for both of them? Because both of them is great athletes.
They are.
It's no down to neither one of them.
Boy.
So as a president,
So Southside started out with the Southside
Southside,
Hornets.
That's where the name
I
came
thought
from.
That's why they call him
That's where the
Southside.
name
So
come from.
Southside to play quarterback with TNS.
Started out with us.
Yeah,
Started
that's
out
where
with the
that-
Southside
That's where
Hornets.
that name comes
That's
from.
why they called him Southside. Because he played with Southside Hornets. That's why he's coming.
Y'all in here? Y'all better get some knowledge.
It's no
it's not no shade, but we claiming
Zimmy is a good dude. So
for sure.
It's not no shot to Zimmy at all. And because Zimmy took him and made him a better player, he gave him some opportunities that we might, to be honest with you,
couldn't give him.
We might not have been able to give him to him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you look at where they both is at now, when his brother's 10 and he's 12, when you look at because hopefully he's supposed to be playing back with us this year. But the fact that both of them is where they at now, look at them. Both of them is still at the same level at the top of their age group. Mm-hmm. So even though he was given those opportunities, I don't see the bigger different impact when you relate to brothers. So to me,
put the applause on.
He did get the opportunity to do some things. But it's not to say what he did made him better than his brother that didn't get them same opportunities. Exactly. So that's why to me as a person, I don't really get stuck off in going to nationals. Because I done seen times where kids go to nationals and come to ODY or go to another school that some of our kids play. When I go watch the game, I watch their kid on the sideline, watch the kid that we coach playing. Because opportunities is just opportunities. That don't make the opportunity better. Mm-hmm. You can say, I'm a friend. I told you, okay, you think you putting the kid in the best
It just was different. It ain't better, it's just different.
It's just different.
Exactly.
No, for sure. And I respect it. I like I said, I respect every parent because, like you said, you have opinion, I have opinion. They don't make us enemies because we have, and I see a lot of parents get caught up in the national.
I look at a kid. I look at a dude's actions, man. I don't. As it come down to Zimmy and Rory, I've been coaching against them guys for years. Both of them have always been.
A lot of people don't even know Zimmy. Didn't he coach the Blue Raiders? Wasn't he like?
Zimmy been coaching for a
long time, bro.
Zimmy been for a long time,
bro. I take my hat off to him. Everybody say this, but Zimmy a great coach.
No, he is.
He's a great coach, man. He put on for the city.
Yeah, and he's a discipline coach.
No, for sure.
And Zimmy is a good dude. He is naturally, and to me, that's what matters. And that's why I say that I think it can work. When you take Zimmy, that have been around for a long time. You take Rory that have been around for a long time. You take Mr. Brazil that have been around for a long time. You take them guys from Como that have been around for a long time. If you take all these guys together and put them in a room together and develop a plan for Fort Worth, talking about it is one thing.
But doing it.
Man, when you put everybody in a room together and just look at their ideas and their thought processes, then within the Fort Worth will win. I don't think Fort Worth is losing as Fort Worth. I think what happens is our kids are so talented to where when they get in high school and middle school, they wind up not going to a Fort Worth school. But as it relates to Pee Wee football, I don't think that's what's killing us. I think what's killing us is when those kids that's good in Pee Wee football is never reaching our schools. Yeah. Because they're not.
Can I go back to what you were saying about the community? So in my gym right now, bro, I got a kid that's in my gym right now. He'll be starting varsity at Northcraft. I think that you also got to make your high school where kids want to go there.
I agree with that.
You get what I'm saying? Like Northcraft, this one kid,
he
way out. He's probably like 45 minutes away, but he want to attend Northcraft.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
You get what I'm saying? Because of the buzz.
Hey, as a person, I'm from Arlington. Well, I went to high school in Arlington, and I went to Lamar. We had a whole bunch of East Side kids that was supposed to be going to either it was supposed to be going to Eastern Hills. Yeah. They went to Lamar, or they was going to Nolan Cafe.
But it's only because y'all had a name, though.
Yeah, we was winning there, so we was hot. So it is a lot about keeping your kids in the city.
The thing about dealing with sports is about levels.
For sure.
You can't take a kid that's 6 years old and take him to a national tournament, and then he never get a chance to go again. And you think that's going to tenure his longevity in sports. It's not. Kids are kids. Mm-hmm. You have to keep them in the mind frame and in the process of a kid. To me, a 10-year-old kid, anybody under 10 ain't got no business going to nationals. Because you're showing them something that they'll never get a chance to see again on a certain level. And so now they get angry. So when they go to these halfway decent high schools, or they go to these high school stadiums that look tore up, and they 10 years old, but they haven't been to Florida.
Yep.
Hey, shout out Coach Andy. Coach Andy told me that too. He said you got to give a kid some. Shout out Andy. He was telling me you got to give a kid something to want.
You have to. You have to.
If you give them everything, but in the crazy part, I don't make the show about me. But the crazy part is when I was young, at the age of 8, I was already flying to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
For
but I'm talking about
it didn't matter when I got older because I didn't.
But this is the thing to me. It's one thing individually. What you do with each one of y'all do with y'all sons individually is on y'all.
For sure.
Yeah, you want to put your kids individually. It's when they become a part of an organization.
Well,
And if the organization, that's their goal, then their biggest goal is also going to be to kick kids out. Because, come on, think about it. If I'm a coach, I want to win every game I play.
Exactly.
But I'm not finna win at the extent of me saying that your son ain't no good. So I'm gonna.
So you don't believe? So let me ask you this: so you don't believe in cutting?
No, to me I don't. Now, if I had too many kids, then the roster size say that I can't get. That's one thing. But for me to intentionally, in my mind, if I got a 35 kid roster and I'll go out there and intentionally recruit 60 kids to get rid of 30 of them, to me, I would never do that.
Well, hey, I do want to touch on this while we have a pillar in the Fort Worth community. Because what does Fort Worth have to do the same thing that Dallas has done, where we're rebuilding the facilities, we're getting the bond packages passed, so we can get nice. Because, you know, I appreciate the sentiment, what they tried to do with Dunbar, some of the schools by redoing them, but let's keep it real. Those buildings are old. They need to just start over, and that's kind of Dallas started that process. Like when I was in school, they started that process, and that's part of the reason why they're able to do a SOC, because they got that nice new building, and they've invested into the schools in their community, and the kids are gonna keep running to the suburbs as long as the suburbs is just the nicer option.
And that's true. Now I can really speak on that because right now they got something going on at Fort Worth, the world. They finna shut some schools down in Fort Worth. It's probably maybe anywhere from 4 to 8 schools, but roughly in 2027. So what they're doing is talking about shutting some middle schools down and taking those middle schools and combining them to one school.
Yeah, I heard that.
And then completely rebuilding.
A whole new building.
So,
But it's a stickler there. And the stickler is what I'm saying about how we as people in our community see strengths and weaknesses. So, and what I mean by that, if you take 2 schools and your kid go to a school and your son go to a school, and one of them need to get shut down, how do we come together as a community to say, okay, this is the best thing to do, to go ahead and shut one of the schools down, build another one, but as a community, how do we take that other school and utilize it as an advantage for the community?
I think we have to take the fact that our parents are addicted to youth sports.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Let's
it's
take this addiction and use it for good.
No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that the inevitable part is they're gonna shut some schools down.
So what are you gonna do?
So that's what I'm saying. So
What
do we just let the school system shut schools down, and when they shut them down, 5 years down the road, that school have been tore up and threw away for nothing? Or if we're gonna be advocates of, okay, if the school is shut down, we run youth programs. Can we get access? They got football fields, they got gyms, they got classrooms for mentoring. We want to do Bible classes, we want to do educational training, we can do anything.
Yeah.
So the question becomes that when a city decides to make an active decision to close something down, how active is we in our community?
So it go back to what I was saying at first, Coach Pat, is that for me, you got to do more than coaching. For me.
I agree with you.
So it go back to what you're saying. Okay, if you shut a school down and somebody gonna go up there, they're gonna run the classes. They're gonna do whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it takes more than just coaching the team to actually build build the city back up. So that was my point. We need more people to be more mentors.
And that's what I'm saying, because that's where we at right now.
For sure.
For his question, that's where we at.
For sure.
They in the process of rebuilding the middle schools, and I'm quite sure once they do that, because I know years ago was on the books to where they wanted to shut down either Dunbar, Poly, or Eastern Hills, because they count on.
Yeah, and
it'll
be good because we can compete.
That might be the opportunity.
Yep.
We can go. I think Fort Worth have too many high schools.
There's no question. Ain't no thing to it. They got to.
They got too many high schools.
They got too many high schools and not enough students.
Yeah.
Everything don't go together.
Yeah, they got too many.
Sports is not. We as black men gotta get our identity off of sports being about how talented you is, and start thinking about sports should be about opening the bucket.
Yeah.
See, if you only got 1,000 kids that's talented, that's all you got. But what if you take those 1,000 kids and create a way to bring 1,000 more kids? But we're not thinking like that.
I think Duncanville and DeSoto have.
But those areas have, because that's the way it's designed.
You see, Duncanville and DeSoto are the suburbs. So for years, Dallas was dealing with the exact same thing that Fort Worth was dealing with. All they cold kids was going Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill. And then they got together as a city, and first thing they did is they started rebuilding the schools. They made sure that all the schools had turf practice facilities, and then those kids started coming to South Oak Cliff. And then they were able to put it together like that. But you got to have the facilities and the places for the kids going to keep them in the city. So people didn't really want to stay in the city.
I'm going to tell y'all what's crazy.
To
To be honest with you, and to speak on that point, Humphrey, the reason everybody's kind of flocking to North Crowley too, because they got indoor facilities. They got they ain't gave us nothing.
But I think what it is, I think everybody understands.
I
think everybody understand why they're going. The question is, see, in order for us to get something in our community, we got to advocate for it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we'll say that what they doing on the west side of Fort Worth or what they doing on this other side.
Because they're wanting
that.
They're advocating.
They're advocating. They showing up at city council.
Yeah.
They going to them schools volunteering. So when you got to invest in interest within your community, the city got to see you different, because the more people that's invested in that community, they see those as votes. So when that city council is sitting there deciding on where this money going, and they know that they need 1,000 votes to win, but they get 900 votes from the west side of Fort Worth, they gonna go with the west side. But if they say we get 900 votes from the east side, they going with the east side. It's just a number game.
And then at that point, you see the people that are really willing to stand up and advocate for that side of town. And I don't think on these sides of towns that we talking about the schools, we don't have the community that's gonna stand. They don't give a damn. They too busy investing in their own life.
But see, we wanna fight. And that's why I tell people, I used to be a politician. Every time we put ourselves in a position, we put ourselves in a position to fight. You can't win the fight when it's time to fight. You got to win the fight before it's time to fight. You got to know what war look like and start preparing for war. But if it's school closure, if it's a gym being shut down, we go to fight. So when you see us on news or whatever,
we already trying to catch up.
The question is, have you laid something down way before that? To where you said, okay,
how can we effective?
Because you got to be able to challenge.
Yeah.
Challenging is based on the time. It's just like fencing right now. When it comes down to the shutdown of the schools in Fort Worth, as the meeting that we went to, they supposed to shut down on they supposed to make the decision on which schools is going to close or whatever on May the 28th. Mm-hmm. Now, this in 4 different communities. Mm-hmm. How well is the fight? So now we can't wait till the 28th.
No, we needed to start.
And then they vote and say we're going to shut the schools down, and now we're going to fight, because now you fighting the backwards fight.
We really supposed to start 2-3 months ago.
But the answer to this question is that there's no question about it. Fort Worth needs to invest way more money in their schools, and I think that through bonds, things, something like that, they can do it. Yeah. And they, in the process of trying to do it, but the question becomes, how are we going to allow it? Because if we're going to say, okay, that's the best practice, but then we're going to say, well, no, we can't do that because you shut the school down in my country.
Hey, I will
say. Read Orlando. He said West Dallas, if you can read that comment.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to come. Oh, man, you know what's crazy? Orlando, I know a little bit more information on that project. No, I am. But just to speak on that, man, we got to be more of an advocate to, like you said, coaches being more than just coaches. We have a lot of people have a lot of amassed power, political power. Yeah. Like Curry got political power in DeSoto. He can make something move. I'm pretty sure streets in the SED neighborhood, or Bennett, all these people, Joe White, the areas that they're living in, especially if you're one of those people like SED, they play in Pleasant Grove Stadium in the Grove. You got political power. So we need to start using our political power. I think the Dallas people have been a little bit better at using their political power through sports than we have.
But Dallas is at an advantage. Fort Worth is at a disadvantage.
Why you say that?
Because if you have a professional team within your city, it makes the game easier.
Yeah.
Dallas got the Dallas Cowboys. They got the Texas Rangers.
That's how Arlington.
It's easy. It's easy because
Dallas Stars.
Their kids is gonna wind up being in your organization, or when you volunteer with this. So if I was in Dallas, I could probably go to one of the Dallas Cowboy games or whatever, and convince somebody in Dallas, hey, look here, man, we in Pleasant Grove or whatever the case may be. Can you come out to one of my practices? Once they come out of your practice, then you start making that political. That's an easy fight to win. It really is.
Yeah.
But when you're in Fort Worth, it's different because we have.
I think Fort Worth. My opinion is, I think Fort Worth we missing leadership. I think.
Oh, yeah,
I think far as like,
I agree with that.
I take my hat off to Curry. I take my hat off to Streets.
Yeah.
A lot of them coaches out there, they actually like DeSoto with the 4 fields that we go to out there. Shit, they actually going out there voting to get them fields. They actually doing what they have to do to bring their community and football to their city. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like we don't have. Think about this. We don't have no. Well, we might have it, but nobody's took it up on themselves to go run a tournament with 4 football fields to where you got 4. Do we have
we
don't have nothing like that out here for the kids. You get what I'm saying?
Unless we start being politically active.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But to be people came together to make get that. And that's
But
part
to
of
be
their school
politically
district.
active,
They
you have to.
schools play
But to be politically active, you have to be politically aware. And I think that our people as a whole, see in Dallas, and then you got to think Dallas is so diverse, and with the gentrification, so you will have a white school over here by the hood or something that's going, in DeSoto, you know what I'm saying? So they like, no, we need to fix that over there, and so now they putting the bug in the people's ear. Over here,
hey, I gotta tell you, they white flight is worse than ours.
Bro,
so we still got white people in Fort Worth. We didn't have white mayors and politicians. In Dallas, the white people is gone. You go to jail in Dallas County, you gonna see all brown faces. The person cussing you out finna be brown. You go to the hospital brown. You go to City Hall brown. So we got.
You just said.
We're not using all our resources.
Listen, you just said You just said exactly what I'm saying, bro. So that's who's fighting for our community. People that look like us, and the people that they have that don't look like us, that can advocate for us, are on their side. You understand what I'm saying? And here, out here, like you said, we don't have nobody at the top of the totem pole that looks like us, that's worried about the concerns of us.
I think
you know what I'm saying. So with us to be able to stand up to that,
Coach, I think if we got together and devised a plan, because to me, no is not an answer until I've presented something to you. So I can always say where we at in Fort Worth politically and all that kind of stuff, but until I take the time out to present something to them and they reject me, then I know how to work it.
But you know what? I think we lean. I'm gonna tell you this about us too. I think we lean on the politician side so much. Like I'm gonna say, for instance, we didn't have no facilities out here. We ain't have no facilities like this nowhere. But me and some guys got together and we said, hey, this is how we can I don't need to. I feel like when you lean on them to do so much for you, then you leaning on them to come write you a check.
I agree with that.
You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, if I got a bankroll, you got a bankroll, Rory got a bank. Let's get together, put our bankroll together, and make some shit happen. Instead of waiting on the politician, waiting on the mayor to say, okay, hold on. Waiting on somebody to say, okay, in the bill. You get what I'm saying? We didn't have no facility in Fort Worth. See, we put it together.
I agree with that.
Me and Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? We did the boxing thing, so we doing things on our own to get revenue in so we can do it for ourselves. I think a lot of times we just got to do it for ourselves. We can, if I got 100,000, you got 100,000. Fuck it, let's go put 200,000 on this building and make this shit happen.
And I want to add to that is we also, and this may be something that we need to add to coaching is, sometimes when we voting, bro, it's not really about the president because your local people control if your water gonna be clean, if you gonna have good food to eat, if your school's gonna be shit, if your streets gonna have potholes.
We always think that the president got anything to do with our community. He's the last person that got anything.
Most people don't know who they city council member is.
And that's the shit that affects us directly. So that's the shit that affects.
Or join the PTA.
Bro, you gotta vote on that type of shit.
A lot of the stuff going on in your kid's school, you got a voice, you just ain't joined the PTA. You join the PTA, you can make moves.
And that voice help with youth sports and everything, because the more people get involved in anything, the numbers going to come greater. So if it's volunteering at a school, it's going to affect any community. And a lot of people just don't see that. Yeah. Anything you're doing in your community is but what we need to do, the biggest thing...
Or don't disappear in junior high, because they all keep talking about junior high is bad. Most of your junior highs will take some parent volunteers.
Yeah, they're going to need them. Well, they will, but they're going to need more than the volunteers. They're going to need some weapons when they go up to the junior high school. Yep. These kids off the chain.
Yep. No, for sure.
Yeah. But it just the more activity that you get within a community. But one of the things we don't do as black folks is we don't really take our numbers and put them like in a database. I said this about 4 years ago. Just think about this. Think about this. I know at one time we had 15 organizations in the city of Fort Worth. strong football. It was probably more than that. Okay. But at one time it was 15 strong organizations. Each one of us had, roughly speaking, 100 kids, football boys. And each one of us roughly had about 50 cheerleaders. So you're looking at 150 kids. Time that time 10. Each one of those kids is impacted by at least five adults. Look at the numbers that you got. You got youth sports itself in Fort Worth got access to almost 10 or 20,000 people. Yep. Ain't no election, not even probably the males in the election, is a 20,000.
It ain't parent per each kid.
You can literally take youth sports, and if you organize it right, can run the city council and can run everything.
Well,
because the numbers is there.
You could reach out to a candidate and be like, "Hey, look, man, I will take my team."
So where do we start? So where do we start to get youth sports back on track?
Well, I think you just started. I think this conversation starts it.
Yeah.
I think the next question is to call a meeting. I think that you have a voice now. And I think because of the voice that you have, call a meeting and do it on the podcast. Well, don't call it the way it's a closed meeting. No. Call a meeting and do it on the podcast.
So everybody can
everybody can introduce themselves so everybody in the city of Fort Worth know who's really fighting for these kids. And after that, go forward with it.
Hey, I will tell you this, even, like, think about this, you got a team, and you got, if you pure age, let's take SCD, I'm just going to use big team, or Bullet, you got pure age. Bro, y'all could go canvas a neighborhood with your kids. You can really, for a city council member, or a school board member, your team could impact if they get into office tonight, and now they owe you a favor. You need a field in your neighborhood, now that...
Allegedly.
No, ain't no allegedly. Straight up. Ain't no allegedly.
What that's the way the money.
That might be what they campaign for. They may switch their campaign to be campaigning for more youth sports fields. The reason we don't have any politicians who are out here actively because if there was a politician who said they want to add turf fields in Fort Worth, y'all ain't gonna go.
But to be honest, I think they will give us
some of us who don't vote.
I think that they will give us the fields to play the games. I think we just ain't really went in there and applied. You gotta think, semi-pro. I mean, the girls use Pascal. What's the prime girls use Pascal. Pascal nice.
You can go to high schools. That's not. So, I don't think the high schools will never be an issue if you have a good relationship with a head coach at a high school in Fort Worth anyway.
For sure.
You probably gonna gain access to it. I think, but the thing it is that to me it's about liability. At the end of the day, if we really want to make a big change in Fort Worth as it relates to youth sports, we need to get our own. We need to be able to say, okay, youth sports in the city of Fort Worth got 4 fields.
Yeah.
And these fields, when it come down to it get dark and you don't have nowhere to practice at, okay.
You got lights.
It changes the landscape of everything that we trying to do if we're gonna be serious about it.
And the crazy part is, man, think about that, bro. Y'all think about that. Like I say, we got fields that don't have freaking lights. Think about that's insane. I'm gonna say why it's insane because we out here we keeping these kids safe. We giving them our time for free. I mean, like for them not to have nowhere where they have lights at for sports.
We haven't asked, and when you ask for those type of things, you gotta go know where to go ask.
Well, we have asked. We haven't asked the numbers.
Yeah.
Asking don't mean nothing.
That don't matter. You pack it out.
Asking don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if he do on his podcast and say, okay, next, I don't know when the next city council meeting is, but I promise you this. If he can say when the next city council meeting is, and tell everybody that's dealing with youth sports
to go
to that meeting,
then we asking. That's asking.
Now you asking.
We pushing the
Now you asking. But not only that, they give you a chance to speak, so you can get on the list.
They know that you got
and
numbers.
You can speak. And when you get on that speak, when you get up there, because to be honest with you, that's what every other community is doing. If they just want a community garden, ain't no one person going. They probably got 200 or 300 people in their community.
You want me to tell you a secret? I went to a city council meeting. And I'm gonna tell you this how crazy it is. I went to the city council meeting for Firesteer when we was fighting for our field, right? So when I went to the meeting, I stood up and I talked to the mayor of Firesteer at the time. And did you know that Firesteer Chaparral are grandfathered in? That they have to give them a field like they grandfathered in. They've been here so long that they have to give them a field here.
They should be.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So when this thing, but we would have never knew that
unless we went
to that meeting. Yeah. We were like, huh? Yeah. The old people there was like, yeah, they can't just woo. So a lot of things we just don't know as a community. And people say it pays not to know.
Yeah, and it does.
It pays not to know. If you don't know, then your ass gonna pay. So with that being said, I think
you got so much property, man.
Yeah. Do you know how much property is in Forest Hill and Everman, bro? That they can just get, like, not just here, like, here, take this. That's what they did to us here. With Griggs, they were like, here, y'all take Griggs.
Yeah.
No, I've been on.
feel what I'm saying?
Bedford
Like,
because Bedford, we have a whole bunch of baseball fields, and then we're in Bedford, where a large portion of our population is African American and Polynesian. So we're a big football brand. We got LD Bell, we got Trinity over here. So why we building all these baseball fields? You built the Boys and Girls Club, you put a whole bunch of baseball fields, but the predominant sport over there is football. And the only fields we have access to are at the schools or the dual use ones. Yeah. And like you said, if the teams don't have access, and that's part of the thing in Bedford, like LD Bell trying to catch up to Trinity, we don't have any youth teams that are based in Bedford.
Oh, y'all know?
There's no teams based in Bedford.
Metroplex.
No, Metroplex Flex is in Euless. They practice at Trinity.
Okay.
So there's nothing. So when we're trying to battle for the kids when it gets to the high school, we're battling against kids who have been at Metroplex Flex and been playing in their indoor practice facility, building a relationship with the coaches. Because a lot of people don't know, the kids on Center Street, they get to pick where they go. So where you gonna pick? The team where you got the relationship with the coach. Can
I ask you a question? Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
How many times have you went in front of the board and told them exactly what you're telling us today?
I just got knowledge. Actually, I started off with, I became part of the Booster Club, and I started listening to them.
Well, not to put it, not to put it on you,
like,
because it only. The reason I'm saying that because it makes so much sense. The reason I'm asking you that because if you say that in front of a bunch of people then
somebody gonna be like, hey, that's why, bro.
If you notice that LD Bell, they got Jordan uniforms and stuff. Like, part of that is because the parents was like, bro, all our kids want to go to Trinity, so y'all got to do something. So the first thing they did is they brought in Lamar High School's coach that helped Lamar get back to the playoffs if they had a little low. So they brought in the Lamar coach. And really, it was as far as this. I found out from the Booster Club that the parents got together at the high school. They had lost. I think they won one game the year before that. And they got mad and came to the principal, had a Booster Club meeting, and they fired the coach. And they made the school hire a better coach, which improved their play. And they beat Trinity for the first time in 50 years just based off of the Booster Club and the parents getting together. That's not even the whole school. So think what happens if all the youth parents was like, we're going to go to a city council meeting. Like, it's real power.
That's a lot of people, bro. That's a lot of people.
So what's one of the best football leagues you've been a part of? Because I feel, and the reason I'm asking you that, Coach Pat, is because I feel like we shuffling right now.
I think
we shuffling and we tap.
To me, every league is the same.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's the people that. Because when you look at leagues,
say it again.
I don't agree with you.
I understand what you're saying, but listen to me.
Go ahead.
It's just like if you look at. I don't really know too much about the Bullet, but I heard a lot about it. I don't really know too much about it. Then when you look at Zimbabwe's organization, which is TNS, and then you look at my organization, which is Southside. If people look at us, we're on 3 different levels. You're going to want great. They're going to see one great. They're going to see one middle. They're going to see one at the bottom. And the likelihood is mine is the one that's probably going to be at the bottom, just based on what they're seeing. At the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, you still get on that football playing the same way I'm playing. So from that perspective, the only thing that leagues does, I done ran a league. I got a league now. The only advantage that any league have, they can create advantages, but the league itself has no advantages. Because the football is based on your kids going on that football field playing football.
So so it's basically on like the teams that you put into your league that makes the league.
The league is the league. Football is football. I don't care where you go and play football, it's the same. Football don't change.
I'm saying for the cloud that
but the cloud is the cloud most of the time is the level of opportunity that you want as a parent. Do you want your kids to play football? You want your kids to look good? What do you want?
So let me ask you a question. So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So you will have Texas Sport here.
Yeah. Technically.
Okay. Technically, you gonna have Texas Sport here.
We gotta see what it's like next year.
Say for instance, you have Fort Worth here, you have North Texas here, and then everybody else underneath.
I see what you're saying.
What would you call the difference in that? Why would
the only difference is what's the calling call for a team to join. The reason why most people play in Texas Sport is not because of Texas Sport, it's because they offer nationals. Has nothing to do with Texas Sport. Yep. Even though you can say it does, but it really doesn't. But imagine if we created our own nationals. And 5 years down the road, we have teams coming over here.
Well, why did they create their own
Texas sport got
nationals?
to where they is. Football is no different on no level. It's the perception I
So
get.
you don't think my talent get to play the best over here?
Nah.
No.
So, cause that's why we hear.
Killers
Hold on,
on the
time
team,
out.
Time out. This is what I mean by
Oh my God,
The reason I'm
this
asking you
man
this is
Oh my God.
it's
But let
words
me-
circling around. That's why.
But let me read it. Let me
You know.
redefine how I say that.
Come on, man. Come on with
To
it.
me, if you got 100 kids, and all 100 of your kids is competitive in your league,
Mm-hmm.
he got 100 kids and only 50 competitive. He got 100 kids and only 25 is competitive. His 25 might be better than your 100.
Yeah.
So, but your 100 is gonna look the best because you got the most athletes.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what shines some light on it. That big man challenge. I will say this, and I stand on this. That Southside 10U line with just the combination of them two big boys is as competitive or better than every single 10U line that's in the big man challenge right now. I'm talking about
That's
you can
fact.
say Havoc, you can say Havoc, you can say Bullet, you can say Dallas Elite, but Dallas Elite playing up, they really 9U. But bro, that's competitive. They the same size.
So-
they're not even losing no size. If you took that Southside line, they're physically bigger than most of the 10U kids that's over there.
Well, I'm not really concerned with the
kids that have only
team.
played in
I'm trying to
Football
see
League.
what makes what makes leagues better than other
It
leagues.
doesn't.
That's where I want. I'm
It's-
not worried about
That's
that.
what he
said. He
Yeah.
said-
It doesn't
he said
because
none of it's no
most
better.
It's just the
teams-
national offer.
It's like
It's the national offer because that's what they been on.
It's like
Think
high
about
schools.
it.
You got
Just think about it from this
D1.
space.
It's like
What
if you-
advantage would it be to me that don't want to go to national?
Like it's
Nothing.
What
it's not
advantage
as
would
good
it
as-
be to me to spend all that money to pay the other league?
Hey, well,
It's no
soccer's good
advantage.
as Duncanville.
Now, if I want to go to
Soccer-
nationals, that's also a different color. I got to get over there to get at y'all
Exactly.
because y'all the league that actually offers.
So
that
what
opportunity.
you're saying is if the other leagues like Fort Worth, shout out Fort Worth, North Texas, Kenner Keller, whatever they
Yeah.
league, if they all offer nationals,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
or if they had it'll be the same.
Yeah, because it's still football.
Bro, what if
The game's not going to change.
if
The
that
game
was-
is played on the field. What you're talking about is administrative.
For sure.
So from an administrative standpoint, it's just what if you
It's
run
what
this
you're looking
like right
for.
now from an y'all podcast is no different than anybody else podcast.
For sure.
But the way y'all administer it is different.
Nah, hey, look, to be honest, this is what he's talking about. So right now,
Man, we know what he's talking
no,
about.
I'm gonna get deeper. Right now, remember Texas Sports used to be an official battle conference. So right now, if Battle came and went to what's that one league with all the
North Texas.
yeah, if Battle came to North Texas and said y'all are official Battle League, you win North Texas League, you get a trip to Florida.
That's where they don't want to go.
That's where they want to go.
That's where
So
they wanna
basically,
go.
it depends on who co-signing who.
So what happened
That's
was
it.
Texas
That's
Sports.
really all it is.
Texas Sports used to be a battle league back in the day, and everybody came running over there because they wanted to go to battle. They are no longer an official battle league, so you don't get an automatic bid for going to Texas Sports, and that might be why some of these other leagues are starting to come back up.
Yeah, but that's just a fact.
Not for sure.
You're
For
not
sure.
offering what
And
they
like I
offer.
say, and so what the conversation, and I'm trying to get the people to understand is, like you said, it's the nationals that make the difference.
Yeah.
So we're saying, we want a competitive league. So we offer nationals.
You competitive.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I done seen some teams over here that could compete in any league.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? In the Fort Worth League, I done seen plenty of teams, kids. I
Now,
done
like
seen
I said
kids
again,
out there. that
but
get,
to answer
you
your
know.
question, you possibly the possibility of your 100 kids, me playing against you, then yeah, the possibility is there that I'm going to play against the best. But that don't mean I am.
Yeah.
So,
Because his 50 can probably be just as good as yours, and his 25 can be. You'll never know because they're not going to compete against each other.
No, for
And
sure.
that's the blind side of dealing with youth sports. You say that you're the national championship, but a lot of these teams never play against some teams. Never play against them, so you don't really know who the national champion.
no, for sure. And the reason I asked that because, like I said, man, I definitely want to see Fort Worth come up.
I
and
guarantee
do-
you this.
Good.
Whichever, I don't really know. I get the different name of these leagues that's
For
concerned.
sure.
But whatever league that we in now, I get the names all mixed up. But we
Fort
join
Worth
another
Youth
league.
Sports League.
No, we don't. No. We in another football league now.
You sure?
You
Positive.
I'm contact. We still in Fort Worth Youth
Yeah.
Sports League.
Okay.
But
But
it's
they
Texas
combined is it Texas Sport?
Yeah,
Well,
we
hey,
gotta
from
let
what I
Texas
heard
go.
on the messages, man, they ain't got back to my boy. They ain't
Oh,
got
wow.
back.
Well,
They
far
just
as
put y'all on TV,
yeah.
and
let
they ain't really signed the paperwork.
Let me
and stuff
rephrase
like
it.
that.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
The only thing that I know is that my business rep, my football director, which is BA, told me that the Fort Worth Youth Sports League that we was in last year for contact, they have combined with
Texas Sports.
I'm gonna say Texas.
Kind of, sort of, but not
now.
always.
But let's just say you take Texas Sport right now, and somehow that state thing that they have get canceled. What's the advantage of being in Texas Sport?
Oh, you spitting fire! I've been quiet most of this.
So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of people like to talk like to talk about it, but like I was telling people, man, when like for instance, you know, when you have the power to bring national to y'all, like I've been talking to national guys, and they like say we want them Fort Worth teams in our nationals. You know, so
I do too. So I'm not just talking. I know,
for sure.
So I know what you.
So it's available for y'all to be in national. You see, you get what I'm going.
I guarantee you, if you created that opportunity yourself, because you know you can do national business on your own. Money talk, bullcrap walk. Yeah, sure. You can get with any national organization and create something around it for you. And it can be called up under your logo or whatever the case may be, and start telling teams in Fort Worth that I got this national bid. Now this is what I have, because this is what I don't know if nobody knows. That's what Park and Recreation do. Park and Rec in the state of Texas, Texas have a thing that's called
Park and Recreation.
Park and Recreation, but it's a name of a league. I can't think of the name of it.
It's the Johnnies. That's what it is.
No, it's the Texas thing. But anyway, what can happen is anybody can pay to get in it. So like for instance, I run a basketball league. I can literally sign my basketball league up in this Texas thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, all my kids get a chance to play for state.
Yeah, you get in.
So that's an advantage, because if you playing in a league and then when the league at the end of the league is over with, you through. But then now you can pay the same amount of money, probably low, pay in this other league, but then represent the state of Texas. What you gonna choose to do? You're gonna choose to represent the state of Texas. It's just a fact. So, but it has nothing to do with our leagues. Because the same league he got, the same league I got, the kids just going there playing basketball. It's what happens after that's over with. Exactly. And that's what football right now is turning into, because everybody want to say that they national champs.
For sure. Man.
So with that, just say for instance right now, if something happened to where the states come in and say, okay, we're not playing no more games cross state lines. It's illegal. You can't come with no national championship. You can't do nothing on the people level.
For sure.
It'll destroy it'll destroy these organizations now that's making all this extra money off of football.
And before we get out here, we're gonna get on to that. So how do y'all feel? I remember Warrior was when he was on our show, he was saying something about creating our own nationals and whatever the case might be. How do you feel about when we go down to nationals and we're not playing under UIL rule or whatever? Like a lot of their rules don't apply to us during the regular season. Like even in Texas sport, which that's where we played at. That's where I coached at last year, and I like it. I loved it. But with that being said, a lot of the way we play here is not how they play when we get up to Florida.
I personally wouldn't have a problem with that.
You know,
and the reason why I'm saying I personally wouldn't have a problem with that, I think everything should be a shared value. So if you value me, if you're in Florida and I'm in Texas, and you value me, then next year I need to value you. Man. So next year I need to host it. You come play under my rules. Now, I played under your rules. You beat me. You gonna brag.
Why? So can I ask? And this for the viewers. Tag somebody. Y'all get in here.
It's crazy because it's a Texas person running it, and you would think that they would let us run some of our rules every once in a while.
Texas running something.
Yeah, we run a battle, bro. Texas running battle, but we put all the games.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. I don't know. That sounds like a money move. That sounds like a money move.
But we gonna run by.
But we ain't here the same Clay.
Nah,
what I'm saying is
leave that up out of there.
So what I'm saying is this: why don't we ever host? I think somebody in Texas should. Instead of us talking about the problem and talking about people, why somebody don't step up and host a national in Texas? And I understand they say it's the weather, is this and that. That's what they say. You know?
I wouldn't. To me, I think that anything can be accommodated. Why do nationals have to be at the end of the year? Because this is what nationals is to me. I can't speak what nationals is to nobody else. To me, nationals should be only team that should be eligible for nationals is the team that play by certain rules. And if they play by certain rules, it should be certain stats that count. So if I say that I want Southside in nationals, another kid team say stats should be kept. Everybody's in that league that's going to go for that bid for nationals. Stats should be kept, because that's the only way you can create a real nationals. You're not going to create no nationals if no stats is being kept. Because when these teams start coming together playing, How do you know who the best running back is?
And that's one of the I call him the elder. The elder told me, he said, man, he said the reason I got out of it because he wanted the person that like originals.
Yeah.
So when the elder told me, he said I got out the game when dudes started just saying this person was the best, this kid was the best, and they never did keep stats. Yeah. Like they created something. He said they was in Houston and dudes started just saying, oh nah, he the best, he the best. And I say, damn you right. Yeah. No, how can you say that this kid is the best, this kid or this team is the best, and you ain't keeping no stats?
You can keep stats, and the only other way to do it is have a process elimination. In other words, what I mean by that, you take 6 teams. Mm-hmm. And everybody that's got a chance to play nationals, if it's 200 kids, let all of them play. But let them play at least 4 games. Take stats in those 4 games. And every coach have to agree that when we say this running back, okay, he got to gain a certain amount of yards, he got to break a certain amount of tackles. Whatever concept we want that running back to do. Out of that group, somebody going to win. So that's become your starters. Because if not, it's always going to be you as a parent guessing or wondering if your child really better than this other child. I don't have a problem with going to a parent and say, ma'am, look here. We let all of them play the same amount of hours. They did the same formation. The quarterback threw the same route. Everything that we're doing, all 6 of these quarterbacks did it. Yours was number 6.
So is national in y'all goal at the Southside Hornets? Is sending one of your teams this year to nationals? Is that a goal?
If they accomplish it. To me personally, I can't speak for my coaches. And I'm not going to speak for them, even though I got the last say so. But I'm not going to speak for my coaches. But at the end of the day, me personally, to put a team together with my mentality, thinking about a national championship, I would never do that. Never. Now, if the league that we in allow our kids to go, and we win, I'm gonna do everything in my power
to get them
there. Because they earned it. And to me, I think if a kid earned something, an organization owe it to them.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If a league offered the national, do you think they should be held responsible for some of the payment to get them there?
Yes.
To me, I look at again. I don't did administrative.
No, I'm saying if you was,
I'm finna tell you. This would be my thing if I ran nationals. Nationals have to offer something to benefit each organization, but with the understanding of being, because what happens on the national level, people administrative don't want to know what they don't want y'all to know what they made.
Man. So
it get kind of sticky.
For sure.
It depends on who all show up, because you can run in a situation where the weather's bad. Now the national is saying that I'm gonna pay out $3,000 to the organization, I'm just throwing it out my turn, but you don't make no money. So then where did it falls? But yeah, cause I believe that there's no way that you can run a national tournament and don't profit big. Not unless some major happen. If everything happened where your people pay the registration fees, the parents show up, you play the games, you ain't got no bad weather, I don't see.
In fact, these folks got money counters, man.
But no, I'm just saying.
Hold on, and I'm going somewhere.
I'm just saying, I don't see how you can do it and not make and if you're on that level, you should have investors and all kinds of stuff. So money.
So you do feel like that. I mean, you do feel like this is your personal opinion, no shots to nobody. But you do feel like if you win the chance to go to national, they should be paying for something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But instead of the reason I'm saying this because I see a lot of people they go to nationals and there's no shots at nobody, but they be on the corners having to raise money or do whatever, and that's a shout out to the coach because y'all are doing what y'all supposed to. But I felt that way too.
I feel like the league should do something.
They should
because I'm gonna tell you this. A couple of years ago, I had was doing something with the Fort Worth Police Department. I think he came film a couple of games, but I had an agreement with the Fort Worth Police Department probably about 3 years ago for 2 years, to where they was gonna pay for my for uniforms. So in the league that I had, and anybody that played in my league can tell you this, for 2 years in a row, if you played in my basketball league, you didn't have a registration fee, and I bought all your uniforms. I put that money toward the organization. I didn't keep none of it. I even went to the point where I wound up paying them. I may not be saying it. I wound up because I think I was supposed to pay for 350 uniforms, but the 1 year I did it, I was like 25 uniforms short. I actually took that money and bought some people uniforms that weren't even in my league. Because the money was for the kids.
Well, it seems like we're getting so caught up in the glory of going to nationals or to beat our chest. we forget that our kids earned that
Oh, yeah,
right.
definitely.
They went through
I agree
sweat
with
and
that.
hard.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of our people are getting confused and they getting caught up in the clap.
I agree with that.
Hey,
And they start
agree.
giving them the right versus making them earn the
Hey,
right.
I will say-
Yeah,
I will
so they
say-
start giving them the right. They
Hey,
like we on the national run, so we going. I don't care how we did over here, but we still going out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's really doing them injustice because they're going out there getting popped.
But
Hey, I will-
think about the money. I think somebody said that each kid is somewhere between like $5,000, $6,000 just to get them out there, get plane
Well,
tickets and everything else. So
I'm not paying that much.
So
whoever was Southside, I'm not paying no $5,000 a kid.
Yeah, so just
talking about, so we won't be going.
So you got to think about.
Is it really that expensive?
Yeah, it's really that expensive. So you got to think about, okay, see, now I done gave y'all the opportunity to go to national, but I'm leaving y'all by yourself. If that's the case.
Yeah.
So I just.
I agree. It should be something built in.
Yeah, it should be. I got the kids plane tickets.
I done
Hey, I
went to
will
the-
say, I will
got
say
the
this
hotel
though.
fee.
I took my basketball team, one team to.
I will say this.
But they had a fundraiser.
I'm gonna speak for the parents, man. I'm gonna speak for the parents because the league is getting a kickback for these nationals. If your league is
I believe
associated,
that. I
they're
believe
getting
that.
some money.
They should anyway.
You know, I'm not gonna say how much money. I don't know all that. They're getting some money. So why wouldn't they help the team? Because they're pushing you. Let's be real. You in Texas sports, we traditional right now because they sending your ass to UIFL. You ain't going to battle. Stop lying. You ain't going to battle. You going to UIFL. All right. So if they pushing everybody to go to UIFL, bro, help. You know, pay for the hotels. Give us a fresh set of uniforms. We go out there. Help us get some vans. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
And then once again, I always say this: go follow the page. Go subscribe to the page. But when we say these things, I tell people when I go to a car lot and I pick me a brand new car, I tell them what I want on the car. So I just feel like as the people, when we in these leagues or we see certain things, we have the right, if we paying customers, to say what we want and what we miss. And I think it's gonna make a better league for the Fort Worth League, for Texas sports. The things that we say that we miss, when they fix it, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, it makes it better. You know what I'm saying? Well,
I think kicking back to the teams without getting that national.
Well, I think a lot of times the people don't say things, and we just continue to mess up. Or I might not think about what could make Texas Elite better here.
Yeah.
So when a person say something like, you know what would make it better here, if you had, like, it was a window I put in the guest room. They were like, we want to be able to see the kids in the guest room. I'm like, damn. Okay, so now I went and cut out the hole so the parents can sit in here on the couch, but they can look at their kids through. Sense. But I'm gonna accommodate the people that come here and pay. So
and you're supposed to.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I always tell people, there's no shot at Texas Sport. I love Texas Sport. Fort Worth. I call them the show because right now everybody want to be in the show at Texas Sport. So I hold them accountable a lot. But I think that if we come together, we can make Fort Worth, Dallas. I think we can make it better. You know.
There's no question about that. I believe we can.
But is there any more questions y'all want to ask Coach Band before we get out of here?
No, good. I appreciate you for coming
Man,
out.
ain't no problem.
Man, we appreciate Coach Band for coming out here, man.
Game, man. I'm talking about, hey, this is one of my first speechless shows, man, where I got to really just listen, man.
Yeah, you didn't want to take over. I was waiting for you to take over.
No, it wasn't, bro. I was too busy listening. And if anybody know me, you know I like to talk. I run my mouth, so it's not what he was saying. It was the quality of what was coming out. It was game that we all need, and this is Free Game Podcast. So I hope y'all soaked it up like I did, because I know how to go move when you're voting, how to make things change within the community that you really want to change. So with that being said,
this is the Free Game Podcast, where everything counts, but the game is free, baby.
Appreciate you, Coach Pat.
No problem, man. No problem at all. I appreciate y'all having me. Yeah, but if you get a chance, man, schedule a meeting.
Nah, for sure. That's what it is.
They said, put it on here.
Because you got to have a commitment, man. I done been in too many situations.
Semi-Pro Live is now a Shock affiliate. Get 15% off using code SEMIPROLIVE for things like this and this. Before you make a purchase, you can even use the visor visualizer and choose between your favorite colors and make the best decision on your purchase. Oh, and did we talk about the giveaways that they're sending? See you this weekend. Semi-Pro Live is now a Shock affiliate. Get 15% off using code SEMIPROLIVE for things like this and this. Before you make a purchase, you can even use the visor visualizer and choose between your favorite colors and make the best decision on your purchase. Oh, and did we talk about the giveaways that they're sending? See you this weekend.